Wait, let me hit record.
Gorgeous pandemonium.
It's me, bitches! It's me, bitch!
Wow.
It's your friend.
How do we want to?
That was so beautiful.
Karma clap.
And welcome back to Gorgeous Pandemonium. That's Charyssa.
And that's Gabrielle. We're super excited that you're here with us for another episode where we dive into the big things, the little things, maybe gay things, and all the gorgeous pandemonium in between.
That was so good.
Yeah.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get into it.
Ba-ba!
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
So today, we have a special guest.
We have Jane. Jane is a musical, social, nature lover, mother, and self-proclaimed jack of all crafty trades, master of none, which honestly tracks perfectly with her ADHD-fueled creative journey. She dabbles in just about everything, probably has 14 unfinished projects at home right now. And yes, she once won a burping competition in high school. Welcome! We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I forgot. That was the very first thing.
That was the very first thing that you told us.
But I was just talking about that with my kids. So
Really?
it's
I
yes,
love it.
front and center. Yeah.
I
Proud
mean,
child.
that
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
One of the proudest accomplishments of my life. Yes.
Of
No one's
all
talking
of the things.
I was really the dark horse in the competition, which I think is what makes me so proud of it.
I love it. Like
Yeah.
you were the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
I
was.
here for an underdog story.
Right. They should make a movie into that. I need to go sell that to Netflix.
Okay, so our word of the week.
Wow.
So are you ready? It's effronter.
Effronte. Effronta. I feel like we have to say
Like
it with an
F?
accent. Effronta. Effronta.
It's an effronter. It's a noun.
Okay.
It is a
okay.
shameless or impotent person.
Huh. Okay.
And with our topic today, I feel like this is perfect. Freaking love this app.
It's like
Mhm.
on point every time.
And it's
Love
just
it.
random.
Okay.
Like I don't
Oh,
even search
cool.
for things.
Okay.
So that's our word of the day.
All right.
So being part of the being out and about is literally
Effronter.
Okay.
I thought that was otherwise it's gonna be really hard. If it didn't, it said effronter.
Effronta. It's very elegant.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy. Okay.
Okay.
So are we ready?
Yeah.
Should we just hop on in?
Let's get into
What are we drinking?
Bloody Marias, but non-alcoholic.
I have a non-alcoholic Bloody Mary.
And I have a non-alcoholic vodka. Did you put vodka in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
And sweet tea.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's like a Long Island.
Yeah. Basically the same thing.
I love it.
We're all fancy and not going to be hungover tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Love
my
it.
30s.
Yes.
This is 30.
Yes.
That is a
it
beautiful
is.
thing. Jane, are you ready for this?
All right. First question. How do you currently identify and how has that evolved over the years?
It's a great question. Yes. So I do now identify as lesbian. Growing up, it never occurred to me that I was anything but straight. I thought, everyone just thought women were more beautiful, and
Yeah.
that's just because they are. And
Yeah.
so, obviously we all agree on that, but we just, still grow up and marry men and have their babies because that's what
So
the
we're
world tells us
expected
to do.
right?
Mhm. And then, it's crazy looking back. There are some things that I'm like, oh, that closet was glass. If it was ever there at all, that's really obvious. But it wasn't until after college that I really started unpacking it and acknowledged that there was attraction to women there. And I started by saying, as I learned about different labels, which, I think can be really helpful for us to navigate. You don't have to use a label, but, for me, they were they were really helpful for me to start unpacking it. And I started identifying as pansexual. I was married to a man, and I thought, okay, this is a way for me to acknowledge and like honor this part of me that is more than I thought was there, and say, like, yes, I do have attraction to women, but I also was still inclusive of the fact that I am married to a man who I do care about and I have kids with, and it kind of still makes space for all of that. And I thought, my understanding of pan, and I think we all have the same understanding of that, but just not having gender be a factor in your attraction. You can just be attracted to someone just based on, soul or vibes or whatever it is. And so I just kind of left it there for a while, but I think it was kind of still brewing. And as time went on, um, I think probably a couple years ago, I thought, no, do you know what? Attraction does play or gender does play a role here. I do feel differently about women than I do about men. And so I started thinking bisexual. Plus, I hate to say it, guys, but the bi flag is cuter. I think, I don't know if we all agree. I feel that way. I was like, you know what?
It is.
This is a great hop to make anyways, because I like the flag more. I'm just kidding.
Okay, remind me. The bi flag is purple and
purple, pink, blue.
blue. Oh,
And the pan flag
It's
is
just like so
pink,
pink,
and
blue,
blue and yellow.
yellow. Yes. And I really like the bi flag more. So like, you know what? This hop really makes sense in a lot of ways. It feels more accurate and I get cuter merch. So
Shut the fuck up.
It'll be on Redding. It's got to be cute, right?
Exactly. Yes. I have my priorities straight. It's the only straight thing.
Straight thing about you.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, this is where I'm at. But again, I was very, very concerned with and preoccupied with not hurting the man that I was married to. There's a lot of care there and a lot of like loyalty. We've been through a lot together. Really, like, both came out of religion together, really took apart like our political ideologies. We had kids together. Pregnancies were really cruel to me, and he was with me through all that and was really supportive of me. And so this was not someone that I was just trying to like be reckless with how that would feel for him. And so started using bi for a while, but then honestly, like I did at a certain point, I know now that I did make a conscious choice to bury things. And um there was actually this one point where I thought, years from now, if I end up coming out as a lesbian, I'm going to remember this moment where I am shoving this down. And I do remember it. And so, but I just wasn't ready. I didn't know what to do yet. I didn't like, it felt so impossible because again, I was with someone who was kind to me and good to me. And I was like, why am I complaining? Why am I looking elsewhere? Like, I should be happy. And I kind of convinced myself, like, oh, it's about, oh, I don't want things to just be about sex. That's so shallow, right?
Mhm.
Like, don't blow up your life over sex. And so it was, it just felt really, I convinced myself it was selfish, I guess, and I had the kids. So I buried that. And then it actually was my, spouse then who came to me and helped me face it and realize it and said, I think that you're a lesbian. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And we can get into it if you want, but I don't want to have like the longest answer ever to your question.
Shoot, absolutely. Wherever you want to go, this is yours.
Okay. Well, yeah, he said, like, I don't think you really like men very much. I don't think you like men in that way. And also, like, you don't like penises. And I was like, well, I don't think anyone really likes them. And he was like, that's not true, actually. A lot of people do, and you seem pretty repulsed by them. And I was like, but, and he was like, no, not everyone feels that way. I was like, huh. And I I guess now it's very funny to me because I'm like, oh yeah, I guess
That makes sense.
a lot of people are actually like pretty rabid about them
Yeah.
now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But I guess I thought we were all just suffering through, and like
Like, oh, that thing
tolerating.
again.
Oh, here we
Okay.
go.
Whip it out. Here we go.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, and he was like, you've just made some comments sometimes that make me think like you really don't like dicks. And so I was like, I gotta take that back. I gotta think about this one for a little bit.
It's a good thing.
And so I did. I gave it a lot of thought. And he said to me, he was like, I just think you would be so much happier with a woman. I can see it for you. And he was like, I think you would be really, really happy. And I'm always going to be so grateful to him for giving me permission to unpack it. I did have to I had to face a lot of things. I had to face the fact that like knew and I shoved it down because I'd convinced myself that that was the right thing to do, that that was the best thing for my family, and that that was what was required of me. Um, and I think, there's so much we could get into with that, with like how, as women, we're always, told to put others first at our own expense over and over. And
Mm.
I had to own the fact that like I was really centering him in my journey and like basing all of even like my own unpacking of my own identity around this man instead of just being willing to face it for myself. And then I also had to own that I'd hurt him in that process because as I'm hearing him say, you clearly don't like penises and he has one, I have to own like, oh my God, you knew,
Mhm.
And he said to me, I don't think you really like kissing me. And that made me so sad that I had done that to him. Like, can you imagine? We were married this was last August that this conversation happened. We had been married for 13 years. And I'm like, that would fucking suck, to feel like your spouse can't, just appreciate your body and love your body. And then, like, obviously this really developed more and more over the years, but, um, there was a lot of like guilt in that as well with realizing that I'd hurt him. And then even for my kids, I'm like, I haven't been happy and I also haven't fully been myself. And I went from they like I can't do this because of my kids to no, I have a responsibility to do this for my kids.
Yes.
And so yeah, that conversation with him happened last August. I took a lot of time of not really talking to anyone about it, just journaling. Sometimes journaling for like a couple hours at a time to where like I could barely move my hand. I was journaling so much because I
Right.
analog with that. Um, and I just processed and I grieved and I cried and I processed more and then was really sure on it and was like, okay, yeah, I am a lesbian. And something that I think would be really fun to talk to you too was like that process of realizing like, okay, like I see a lot of people online who are trying to unpack their own sexualities saying like, am I attracted to women? But for me, the really big test, I was like, yeah, I know I'm attracted to women, but am I attracted to men? And was I ever attracted to men? Because for me personally, I wouldn't use the lesbian label if I had it ever like truly been attracted to men. I would have said like sapphic or queer or like sapphic leading bi, something like that. But I had to really sit and unpack like what have I experienced? Was I ever attracted to men from the beginning? And so that through that process, I realized no, I wasn't. And I was comfortable with using the term lesbian. And so that is, as I've come out, like that is the term that I've been using. And it just feels like home. It feels so right for me. So yeah, that's a very long answer to your question of
That
how do
was
I
phenomenal.
Yeah.
how do I
That was
identify?
beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, and the way that you're able to see, oh my God, like I put him through this, your ex-husband, and still like have so much grace with yourself because you literally did the best that you could with what you knew.
Yeah.
And yeah, penises are weird. Wieners are weird looking. Like, I feel like it's safe to say, like, even if
Bridesmaids.
bridesmaids,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want to make eye contact with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. But yeah, no, like,
Yeah.
I love that you're able to see, like, okay, yes, I did, but I was also doing what I felt I had to do in that
Mm.
time. Like, that is so brave. And to go from the mindset of I have to stay for my kids to, oh no, I need to live my truest life for my kids because Glennon Doyle does it with her daughter, right? Like,
Yeah.
she left her marriage
hmm
because she wouldn't want her children
No,
to
exactly.
live that way.
hmm
So it's like to like, and you did it.
Yeah. And like, how can I tell my kids, be yourself, be brave, while I'm like choking down a lie? You know?
Exactly. And you're,
And you don't always realize how much people can see that or feel
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Even if they don't realize it, right? Like
hmm
you had said your kids say like you're so happy now.
hmm
We feel it.
Yeah. No, they do. And it's like even that difference in myself that I see surprises even me. Like I've had
Mhm.
friends tell me that I'm glowing. Like I've had multiple friends use the term glowing. And I
'Cause you
do.
are.
Like yeah, like
You
it's
really truly are.
just, and it has not been easy. Like
Mhm.
that's, I would never tell anyone it's easy, but it is so worth it if it's like your truth, you know?
Mhm.
I love that.
Stunning.
Just love it. I'm also super proud of you.
Thank you.
Of course. I know it's been a journey.
Yeah, it really has. But now I'm like, oh my God, everything makes sense. I feel so much more peace too.
It's crazy to look back at things and be like, oh yeah, that's what that was. That's why I felt that way. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
But and I love, like you said, doing it for your kids. It's crazy to me still how many people expect, regardless of your sexuality, if you're not happy in your marriage, you need to stay for the kids. Wait
Yeah.
until they're grown up and then deal with your things, right?
Yeah.
But like you're saying, that's like, what are you showing them? What
Mhm.
are you putting down as an example for them? So I think
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. And I love that he like helped you realize that too, because I think also like, I don't know, not to talk bad about men, but they're not always like fully in it. And he really is just, he's such a sweetheart. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
to like see that and feel that and be like, hey,
Yeah.
first off, like you deserve to be happy and to be yourself, but like we also deserve both to be in
Yeah.
a loving, happy marriage.
Mhm.
And
No, for real.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
And we both talked about how like we're really grateful that we gave each other like a safe place. Um, but we are safe now, and so we don't have to keep each other safe anymore. You know, like
Yeah.
when we got married, we didn't have a sense of safety, either of us in our homes growing up. And so um we were able to give each other that space to unpack who we are and what we believe and what we think. And
Mhm.
like I said, we grew up together. You know, we got married in our early 20s. And so like we've gone through all of these stages together. And it's okay that we outgrew that and that we've grown beyond and that we
Mhm.
now know these things about ourselves and we can co-parent, we can be friends. There's actually a huge sense of relief there now where it's like, oh, we can just let this be what it is and we don't have to keep trying to make this something it's not, because you can imagine there was a bit of incompatibility there on a romantic level. and we were good friends. And it was like, why does it never work when we try to make it anything more than friendship? And now we know why. So it's also very validating. It's like, oh, okay, we're not just bad at this. There's just a very basic.
I love
There's a lot of
yeah.
respect and love and care, but it was just found a very platonic level.
Mhm.
So yeah. But even when I told him I had a girlfriend, he said, congratulations. They said, is that weird to say? I was like, it's all weird. So yeah, it is. But like, it's like, embrace it, like he's been very, and when I told him I was starting to date, he said, that's great. You never really got to do that. You deserve that. I want you to, be able to go out and experience it. So I'm very lucky. And yeah, I've been all over. There's a subreddit called Late in Life Lesbians or Late Bloomer Lesbians. It's one of those. And there are so many women on there talking about how they come out to their husbands and they get kicked out, or he's being really mean, or they're trying to say, no, 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 that's not true of you. Just stay with me. And I do not take it for granted at all that I did have a partner who was so supportive and even like helped me come out and helped me see it. So yeah, not a day goes by that I don't appreciate that.
I love that. I was gonna say that's definitely not, sadly, not the
Mm.
story for a lot of
Yeah.
women.
No,
Yeah.
no,
At
not
all.
at all.
Yeah, he has always been top notch, and just seeing the way that
Mm-hmm.
from the outside looking in, like the way that he has supported you and you've supported him in all of this in any way that you can. Like, it's just, you guys are so cool to see.
Yes.
Like, that is what in my mind, like, that's what relationships should be, whether they're platonic or not.
Yeah.
Like, you're with someone until it doesn't work anymore. And then when it doesn't work anymore, it doesn't have to be heinous and mean and
Yeah.
all of these things. And you guys you are a beautiful example of humanity and compassion. And I love that so much.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm
that.
so grateful that you were able to experience it the way you were.
Yeah, me too. I'm so grateful for my kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So you did mention the coming out part
Yeah.
the whole time. So I have some questions about
Yeah.
that coming out. So when you came out this time,
Mhm.
because this is your second go around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or
But
your
this is the
third, really.
this is the only time I went like public.
Yeah. So how has that been for you? Like the actual of that feeling, that experience of like coming out. What did that look like this time? Since it was public this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found out you had to go through the Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, great. So how has this been for you? Like, what did it look like for you other than an Instagram post saying, hey, I've got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, what? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, when I came out, like at first, for a long time after he and I had had that conversation, I just kept it so close to my chest. I only told one other person, my friend Maggie, who you've met. I don't know if you've met Maggie because you couldn't come to my birthday thing last year, but you'll meet her. You'll be delighted. So I told Maggie, and I only told her because I was about to go. Well, not only told her. Maggie, if you're listening, you can cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out. No, but so I was about to go to a women's retreat that I go to every year. And that retreat tends to be very vulnerable and a really sweet space. And I had just had this conversation like a couple weeks before I was going to go to this retreat. And so I was like, I need someone there to know. I don't want to come out to everyone. I don't want to tell everyone what I'm going through, but I need one person who, if I need to step away or I need someone to just be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling a lot of things, I need someone there. And so I told my friend Maggie, and I am so glad that I did because um, she was such a resource to me in that time. And Maggie is a therapist, but she does a really good job holding boundaries with that on both sides, where she does not try to be my therapist. She's really good at coming into just the friend state of it. Um, but of course, like she's also like incredibly like wise and skilled and empathetic, and she gives me really good advice when I'm ready, but she's also very good at holding space and um like, shout out to Maggie because she listened to me talk about these topics on end, like, more than anyone should have to. She just listened and listened and listened, and I'm so grateful for her, but she also would come in with some really good perspective for me. And when I said that, like, I was very much centering my ex-husband in my journey and trying to, like, well, I don't want to go too fast for his sake, and I don't want to, like, and if I say this and if I say that, um and I was so afraid of, like, coming out with this and hurting him because again, like, I have a lot of, like, care and, like, just loyalty after everything we've been through over the years. And so um I it was it was really impeding my process of even being able to process it. And she very lovingly called me on that and said, like, "You're putting him right at the center of all this, and this is your journey. Don't don't put him in the middle of it. Don't make it about him. Don't orbit him while you're trying to process this for yourself." And that piece of advice really crucially helped me. And so I told her, and I didn't tell anyone else for the rest of the year. Like, I came out to you guys when we met for Christmas, and that was when I started telling people. Up until then, it was only her who knew. So having that space was really helpful because my therapist had given me the advice of waiting before I started coming out to people, especially like people who have more of a stake in it, like kids, close family members, things like that. Because she said, when you come out, people are going to be surprised. She was like, because you're talking about coming out and also ending your marriage. So it's very layered. There's a lot to that. And she said, some people are going to be concerned for you. They're going to be concerned about the kids. They're going to say, like, well, are you moving out? Or are you getting divorced right now? What are you doing? What are your plans? And she said, you don't have the answers to that yet. And you shouldn't have to. So she said, like, just be really strategic about, like, make sure that you are solid before you start bringing in other people. So I gave myself a really long time before I really started coming out to more people. And it ended up being, I think, really helpful for me, but also like that time felt really sacred. And then it came time where I was like, okay, I'm really ready for more people to know. And so then, yeah, we told you guys, and that was really easy because obviously, like, I knew that, like, our friend group that we have obviously is very queer already. And you already knew that I was queer. So this was just going further with it. Um, and I knew that that would be a supportive place, even though it would be like really big news. And so I told you guys, and then just I wanted to make sure that I came out to like my, closest friends individually. I was like, I don't want to have anyone that I'm really close to find out from social media or through someone else. So I did end up coming out so many times individually, and I will say that was really exhausting. And even like I told like Charyssa, there's a friend of ours who is probably also listening to this because I know he listens. So I was like, hey, can you please tell him because I do want him to know, but also I'm so tired of coming out to like 20 people maybe not 20, but like I think I counted it up and it was about 15 individual times of coming out to people. And I was like, this is really tiring. And it is just such a surreal thing because I'm 35 and I've also been married to a man. I was married to a man for 13 years and I have kids with him. And so it's just so layered. And I was like, I want people to know, but I'm so tired. And so I came out to about as many people as I felt like I could. There was one more person, a friend of mine from college who is very dear to me still, who I had wanted to come out to individually. And I didn't end up like having the capacity for it at the end. I was like, I'm so tired. Um, and then I had told basically everyone in my life except for my kids and my parents. And my parents are not supportive and they don't live here. They're not really a part of my life. We'd already gotten into a huge fight years ago over, the topic of, me being radical, thinking, trans people have a right to basic safety.
Ridiculous of you. Oh my.
I know. I know. Crazy.
How dare you think humans deserve equal rights?
Right? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Just basic safety and comfort and dignity, you know. I'm obviously, as you know, unhinged radical leftist.
You
Yeah.
are out of control.
Truly, yes.
I think you are too much for even this podcast.
Yep, here I am spewing my crazy ideas. So we're not close, and but I told myself that I would tell them around the time that I was telling my kids, because I do not want my kids to ever feel like they have to keep a secret from me. And so, but I knew that my parents were probably going to be awful. And so I was like, it made me push out telling the kids longer, because I was like, I just want to celebrate this longer. And I want to feel really grounded in this and have told all my friends and loved ones in my life, so that I have a really strong support system first. So, it ended up getting pushed out even further because my parents came out for a visit at the beginning of April. And I was like, I'm not going to tell them until after, because I just don't even want to deal with it. That's too close. My brother actually offered to tell my parents for me. He said, that first reaction is not going to be great. So let me create some distance for you guys with that. And he said that he was going to tell them, do not be reactive, do not reach out to her. Like, she knows your stance on this. So, like, do not reach out to her with anything, mean. Like, just wait on it until you are in an okay place to say something. So when I was ready to, I came out to the kids. I was so scared. Like, you guys know my kids, like, they're so sweet. They're so loving. And yeah, like, we do jokingly call them the aggressive allies, because they will, like, get up in your face if you like misgender so much, kind of kiss with a fist on that. Like, you better be an ally. So
I love that kiss with a fist.
yeah. So, I know these things about my kids, but I was so afraid of telling them. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of creating a rift between us. I was afraid of, I didn't want to scare them, And I was like, they're going to be scared. I have to tell them at once that their dad and I aren't together anymore. And also, your mom is gay. And I was like, I just feel like I'm shaking up their whole world, And my job as their mom, like, I want to keep them safe and help them feel like comforted all the time. And so to be the person coming in and disrupting it, even for it to be good eventually, felt so counterintuitive to me. And so, you look really thoughtful. Did you have something to say?
I do.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So the way that you said that, like, I have to tell my kids that not only am I not with their father anymore, but I'm also gay. What part of you being gay, with the way that you have always been, and I've just, like, I mean, I've seen you as a mom even before you came out. Like,
Yeah.
you've always been so accepting and radical and loving of all genders and sexualities and everything like that. Why why did Do you feel like maybe it was conditioning from earlier years that made you fear the way that they were going to perceive you as gay?
I had,
Because you've even been honest, because you had been honest with them about finding women attractive
yeah.
anyways, right? So why was that even a factor for you? I wonder.
Yeah, I think it was more of just this idea, not that I thought they would think it's bad for someone to be gay, but more of like, I'm just taking so much of what they've thought they've known,
Okay.
and I'm telling them, like, it's not true, you know?
That's
And I felt very aware of, like, something that I was afraid of was that they would feel like I'd been lying to them. And or that, like, they'd been living a lie, or like I'd been living a lie. And like, authenticity and honesty are really important to me. And so I felt, and I even said that before, I was like, I'm afraid that they're gonna feel like I've been living a lie. And I think maybe because I had known that I had, and kids Oh God, they see
They know everything.
everything.
That's why they're creepy and I don't have any.
They are so
Stay
much
safe.
more like intelligent and in
Mhm.
tune than people give them credit
Yeah.
for.
And my 13-year-old, I say 13, I'm fast forwarding. He turns 13 Monday, and here I am. Right?
Whoa,
I'm
calm
trying
down.
to,
Calm
I
down.
know, I'm trying to like get myself used to it though. I'm trying to like say it in my head to get used to it. So yeah, my, actually, no, by the time this comes out, he will be 13.
Yeah.
So we can just
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Good
Okay.
girl.
My 13-year-old, still crazy to say, 13, I'm a teenager, weird. But he did say, I feel like my life has been a lie.
Oh.
And I said, buddy, what do you mean? Why do you feel like your life has been a lie? And he said, because you and dad never really loved each other. And I said, hey, that is not true, honey. We have loved each other. We were such a safe place for each other coming out of college and, growing up through our 20s and having you guys. There was so much love there. I have so much love for your dad. Said it wasn't romantic anymore, but we didn't even know that at the beginning. Like we did always love each other and we still do. Like maybe our love was not the same as some other people's love, but there's always been love there. Please don't think it's a lie. Like there is love, I promise. And he was just so in shock. And that was what I was afraid of that exact thing. And so I think maybe because I do know how my kids think too, that I was afraid of that. And, and um, that it just breaks your heart to see your kids scared or upset or confused. And even though we've always talked really positively about, anything in the queer community, like it wasn't that I thought they would think that it in and of itself was bad. It was like, I don't want my kids to ever feel even a second of pain, and I'm supposed to be the one there comforting them when they're in pain. And now I'm the one having to tell them this thing that's going to shake up everything they thought they've known. And, they all had different reactions to it. My 13-year-old, he just kind of sat there staring straight ahead for a while and kind of was like twiddling his thumbs in his lap. And I was like, oh, he's deep in processing mode right now. He's like spitting out a little bit. My 10-year-old started crying and my 8-year-old kind of jumped into like action a bit more. And he was like, what does this mean? And he said, is someone moving out? And I said, no, we're all still living in the same house right now. And they were like, what do you mean right now? And I was like, I mean, like, don't worry about anything. Like nothing's changing right now. Like maybe eventually, but nothing right now. We're still living in the same house and we're in separate rooms, but like we're still co-parenting, our lives are still very intertwined. We're just taking steps as they feel right and as they feel natural to us. And really like it is a unique, situation where this isn't a marriage ending because we hate each other and we can't be in the same room. So there's a lot of, I'm sure sometimes where it feels a little strange, but there's a lot of respect, right? So then he said, do you have a girlfriend? And I said, well, yeah, I do. And they start asking like, is she really strict? Is she, and I was like, no,
Those are classic stepmom shit, right?
Yeah. I know all these Disney movies with the freaking stepmother.
Yeah.
I was like, no, she's really great. She's actually probably more fun than I am. And they said, and I said, like, you guys, you don't have to meet her right away. Like, whenever you're ready, you're all able to decide that on your own. And even if you're ready at different times, that's okay. And then my youngest said, you know what? I'm actually okay. This was like in 2 minute span, by the way. Went from like crying to,
Love that.
oh, nothing's really changing. Yeah, I'm okay. And then he was fine and bouncing around the house and was okay.
That's with the younger ones. Sometimes it really is. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense. Cool. Can I have a cookie now? Like,
No.
where's
Yeah.
dinner? Like, what are we
Mhm.
doing?
Well, because they haven't been hurt yet by the world,
Yeah.
by society. Like, and I
Mhm.
say hurt very lightly, but like their brains are still in that all accepting
Yeah, and loving
and
just,
loving and
okay,
whatever.
cool. This is the new
This
norm,
is
and
yeah,
cool. Let's move
Mhm.
forward. Let's
like it
embrace
doesn't
it. That's
matter.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait,
So,
so nobody's dying. I
no
don't
one's
have to
dying?
say goodbye to anybody. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
oh,
cool.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, now this is just boring. So,
Yeah, anyway, now that
can I watch my
you know.
show? Can I have my iPad? Like, yeah. And then it was so anyone who knows me knows one of the greatest hardships of my life has been that I'm deathly allergic to cats. So, yeah, like literally, I have said if there's anything I could change about my life, I would make myself not allergic to cats. And people
Yeah.
have said, like, hey, you actually have some kind of fucked up stuff in your past. Are you sure you wouldn't want to get rid of that? I'm like, no,
No, cats, man.
because there's always going to be fucked up shit. How much more could I deal with it if I had a cat to cuddle?
This is it. This is why I have 3.
Exactly.
So much shit in this world. Love a cat. You're fine.
So my amazing, wonderful girlfriend who loves so much, when I started seeing her, she has 2 cats. And I was like, shit. Well, for one thing, I was trying to be casual. And so I didn't think I was going to like stay with this woman.
Like, yeah, okay, don't
It's okay. She knows. She's grinning right now. She knows she got me. But I started like spending more time at her place, and she had heard of this product, and this is not sponsored. I just need everyone to know about this because this is saving my life. It's called Packagin, and it is a powder that you add to your cat's food that changes the chemical compound of their saliva so that people with allergies can tolerate it. And like, I am not someone who it's like, oh, just take some allergy meds and you'll be fine and you can acclimate and you'll get used. I have tried that, and I've had doctors tell me, you will never acclimate. You will die before your body can acclimate. Please stop trying to have cats.
That
Jane,
is so
damn it.
rude. How dare they give up on you so easily?
I know. Well, I was in
Well.
urgent care.
I mean, well, how dare your body?
Actively trying to save your life. They're like,
Stop. Rehome your
Oh
cat,
my
you
God.
crazy woman. Yeah. So I had given up on it. I was like, I'll never be able to have a cat. This is the worst thing to ever happen to me. Why me? And so I was like, yeah, okay, let's try it. Within a few days, you would not know that I'd ever had a cat allergy. And we at my house, like, we hadn't had one, and my kids really wanted a cat. And they'd even said, like, what if, so and so gets a cat and we can just go visit it there? And I'm like, well, then I can't go with you guys. Well, that's fine. You can stay home. Like, these little traitors.
that's your problem, not
Yeah.
ours.
They were like, we need access to a cat, Mom. You don't understand. So as part of it, I had kept this in my back pocket that I was like, okay, if I feel like we need to, and I talked to their dad about it, and I told him, like, he's loves cats. And so I was like, and he's never been able to have one because of me. And so I was like, what if you get a cat? And then eventually when we do move out separately, like, that's your cat and you take it. But like, that could also be really strategic to do right now to like help the kids through this transition. And so after we'd gone over the details, I told them about this powder, and I was like, and guys, I ordered this powder for our house. And then I just sat there and looked at them, and they were like, why would you order it for our house? They're like, are we getting a cat? And I was like, yeah, we'll go get a cat this weekend. My 10-year-old was, thank you, like, shaking and sobbing, and runs to me and like,
Oh my God.
but hugs me in my lap and is like shaking and sobbing and it's like, thank you, Mom. And I know it's just like so heightened with all the news we've just given them. But yeah, we got ice cream at Freddy's that day, had some good family time together. Then the next day we went to Best Friends and we got the cutest cat, and wherever it takes us. So I told the kids on a Saturday. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to come out to everybody. On Monday, I texted my brother and I asked if he was still willing to tell my parents for me. He said yes. He texted me a couple hours later and said, okay, it's done. They both know. I said, how did it go? And he said, as good as possible, which does not mean good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
good as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Good as
is
possible.
still
Yeah.
better than the worst case scenario.
Exactly. And then I came out to my sisters over the next couple of days and 2 of my cousins who were like sisters to me. They were the last people that I was like, okay, this is all I have capacity for, and
Yeah.
I wanted, like, I can't let them find out from Instagram. And then I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, then that Wednesday I made a post on Instagram and came out publicly. I lost over 10 followers, but I did not receive any nasty messages.
Okay.
So
That's good.
we'll call that a win. That was really fun to finally be able to like talk about her online because I'm like so proud to be dating her and I like wanted to show her off and I couldn't yet. And so it was really fun to start like posting about her. And now I'm like, I'm gonna be so annoying now. um and let's see. So yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind. It was really exhausting. Um, I didn't hear from my parents for a couple weeks. Then eventually I did get a text from my dad saying like I heard like no mention of, you know,
The gay.
the gay part of it all,
Mhm.
like the massive, the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Really. It was like I'd heard from like my cousin who I'm friends with on Instagram went to see my uncle and he'd been divorced recently and so they were talking about it and I got brought up and that's how my uncle then found out that I was getting divorced from my husband and he sent a text to my dad being like, hey, I'm sure that's hard for you guys, like being long distance, wanting to like be there to support the family. That must be hard for you. Thinking of you. And so then my dad forwarded me that text and was like, this is what I'm hearing. Like, are you guys getting divorced? I'm like, no acknowledgement of like,
Conversation that you
Like,
had.
Obviously.
So,
yeah.
sorry, that's not funny. It's not
no,
funny.
it's good. We can laugh
Like
about it.
it's so
Like, the
ignorant that it's funny.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I just didn't respond.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No acknowledgement. I'm like,
Ugh.
this is what I know that you know.
Mm-hmm.
How did you respond?
No.
Okay, valid. Way better than what I would have done.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. It's just yeah, it's really complicated with him. So I was like, I'm just not even going to because I'm like, he had texted to Josh, he had texted an actual question of like, are you getting divorced? But to me, he didn't. He just said, I got this text. I'm like, okay, and? He didn't ask me a question. He didn't show any concern, like there's no care.
Well,
And it's just it's very making it about him and just, demanding. And I was like, no, I'm not acknowledging that. So I didn't say anything. And then Mother's Day, when that came around, I was like very torn. I'm like, what do I do? Do I reach out? Like, we haven't talked. And I kind of feel like the ball's in their court,
Mhm. 100%.
So, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Like 200%.
Yeah, but we weren't officially not talking. But I was like, I don't know what to do. And I did end up sending a text to my mom and just said Happy Mother's Day. And I was like, okay, I think I feel good about that. And at this point, I'm not ready to go so far as to not even text.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sit right with me yet. So I'm going to send this text and we'll see. And she did actually text me back like right away. And she said, it was sweet, whatever she said. What did she say? She said, like, Happy Mother's Day, sweetheart. I hope you have a good day or something like that. And, there's actually like term of endearment in it. So I thought, okay, that's something. So ultimately, I'm not pressed about it. My parents are not a part of my life. They don't add any value to it. We barely talked as it was. If we go on not talking, I really won't notice much of a difference. They live in Florida. Like, it's, cut my losses.
Are you from Florida?
God, no.
Okay, I was like,
No, I'm from California.
oh,
They went to Florida because my dad has a real grass is always greener kind of mentality. And yeah, they moved there last year. So
Get away from all the radicals.
Trump's Mecca,
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So they fit in, is what
They
you're saying.
do. Yes, they are MAGA. So
Bless them. Bless their heart.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah. So just kind of like, it's a whole thing that I can't really touch anyways, but that was the hardest one for me. Because I have really good people in my life,
Yeah.
and so I was like, that's the only source of negativity, and it's not a source that has like open access to me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, overall, it's been really good. It was really hard. It was really scary. It was very exciting, and just, yeah, like I had momentum, and I was like, I'm going to make this post. I'm going to come out online, and then I can just go about my way, and I can fucking stop coming out over and over. It is so exhausting. And you are just in this state. It really is like getting up and taking off your clothes in front of people. Like,
Yeah.
and not even getting paid for it, by the way. So,
People aren't
like,
there expecting that.
yeah, it's just really exhausting. You're so vulnerable, and you're like, let me let you into this. Like, for me, what had become like very, very sacred to me.
Mhm.
And even the, 2 months that I had with Jess before introducing her to the kids or anything, like that was so sacred. It was a really like beautiful time of just getting to like build our relationship, and just as hard as it was to be like, I have this whole other life that you're not a part of yet, and feeling like very like my time was very divided, my energy was very divided. At the same time, now like my kids are obsessed with her, so now like they get upset at me if I spend time with her without them. They're like, my 10-year-old even said that to me. He was like, why do you go off and spend time with her without us? He was like, you're always taking her. You're always hogging her. I was like,
We miss her.
well, she's my girlfriend. Like, yeah,
I
want to spend time
I
with
feel
her.
that though. Like
Yeah.
I'm over here feeling the same way. Why but vice versa? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, why does she get all your time? Why does she ever come over? You never call. You never. I don't either. But
Pigeons
still,
both ways.
Pigeon can fly both ways.
whatever.
No, we will
I
do
love
more.
it.
We will hang out. Yes.
I also would love to meet
I would
this person.
love for you to meet her. She's
From what I've heard, she's lovely.
She's lovely. She's, like I said, she actually is more fun than me, but that's one reason that I love her. But
Is that a thing
she's
though?
fun. She's fun.
What does that
Yeah.
mean? Because I think I'm fun, but I also think
We're all fun, and we all have our own ways.
Yes. I think she's just very like, she just is like all light and sunshine and airiness. And I feel like sometimes I get a little serious. I get a little
what's her
moody.
sun sign?
She's a Gemini.
What are you?
I'm a Cancer.
Not. At
It's
the
like a
same time,
pocket
but-
knife where it has
Yeah.
like a million different tools on it.
Yeah.
Like she like can do anything. Like, yeah, never bored.
I think that also just might be the lesbian in her being a pocket knife. Do everything. Like, I think that's just a lesbian thing too.
I don't know. I met some. I got to have a little bit of a hoe phase.
I am so
Yes,
proud.
love that.
I did.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I went out there and I had just enough of a hoe phase to now happily justify settling down.
Yes.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I love
Yeah.
a good hoe phase.
No, it was great. It got a little crazy. Like I went on the apps. I've never been on a dating app before. I got married in 2012. So I was like, I
Oh,
kind
that
of
is
feel like,
bizarre.
yeah,
Okay.
Life
Yeah.
changed.
Sorry.
Dating has changed
Whoa.
so much.
so much.
Yeah.
So I was like, I do kind of feel like I have to pay my dues. There's also a morbid curiosity,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I started on Bumble. It felt very sterile and very straight. Did not like it.
Yeah.
I did go on one date with a girl from Bumble, but I didn't feel a spark with her specifically, but she was really fun. Then I went on her, and Jess is actually the first person that I really started having like conversation with that really excited me. And it just ended up taking us over a month to actually go out and meet, because scheduling, and like I had to I actually canceled on her a couple times because of like one time I ended up having a scheduling conflict with like work, and then another time honestly I was just really over socialed and overstimulated. And I was like, I can't show up for a date right now. Like I actually wouldn't even be showing up as me. And so I was just really honest with her about that. And she was, of course, really understanding and really sweet. And I was like, can we reschedule? And she said, yeah. And then I just kind of like went on with my life. And she ended up coming back like a week later and was like, hey, I don't want to be annoying, but do you actually do you want to get together? And I was like, oh my God, you're not annoying. Please. I'm so glad you got back to me. And then I had to cancel a third time because I got so sick. I got the flu and I was down hard. But in that time, we started texting. We moved off the app and we got to know each other like so well in that time. And so by the time our date came, I was so excited. And but I did like I went on dates with a few people, hooked up with a few people. I went to I was telling you about these Sapphic Night Out events in Salt Lake. I kissed 2 women in one night.
Nice.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
I'm telling you, let's go, let's do it. Like, I am too shy to wingman for you, but my girlfriend is very friendly. So yeah, like I had just enough of a hoe phase, and Jess was actually the last person that I was going to go out with. And then I was actually ready to like call it on dating for a while. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to pull back. I'm going to focus on coming out. I'm going to focus on, separating my life from this man that I've been married to for all of these years. I'm going to focus on my kids because once I come out to them, like I really need to focus on them. I need to create stability for them. And I almost like with her, I was like, oh, okay, I've already canceled on her a couple times. Do I still like follow through and go out with her? Or do I just say like, hey, I'm sorry? Because everyone else that I'd been talking to, I stopped talking to. And I like anyone that I'd really been talking to, I sent messages to and I said, hey, I don't want to ghost you. Just so you know, I'm getting off the apps. Like I'm done dating for a while. And tried to not be shitty, tried to not just ghost people. And so I really thought with her, I was like, what do I want to do? But I was like, damn, I really did like her. She was really interesting. And like her cats are named Sufjan Stevens and Fiona Apple. And we like so many of the same movies. And I was like, I do kind of want to meet this girl. I'm just so curious. And she seems really cool. And she was the first person that I was like really excited about. So you know what? Yeah, I'll go out. Maybe we'll go out a couple times. I'll hang up my dating cap. We'll be done. Obviously now that didn't happen like that. But oh man, what was I talking about? A million things.
Wonderful human of a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Trail, how'd we get here?
We were talking about her sun sign.
Yeah. We're talking about being a Gemini. I don't know. And then I said I interrupted to say like I had a bit of a hoe phase, but
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
We were talking about your hoe phase.
Yeah,
that's it.
We're down for a good hoe phase. We
Yeah,
love
we
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Here for a hoe phase.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was really good for me because again, I got married when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yes, I was turning 22.
Yeah.
And that's like same. My
Yeah.
first marriage, I was 21.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I know you grew up religious, right?
Yeah.
That's like so normalized and even like, oh, like you're getting older, you need to get married, you need to figure out your
Mhm.
life, right? But that's so young.
It's so
Like
young.
you're still such a baby.
Yeah. But that's what they want. They want you locked up.
I was 26 when I got married.
At 26.
I was 26 and I feel like now I'm like, I was way too young.
I know. You look at 26 now and you're like, oh my God, don't
What was I
beside
doing? Like, I mean,
babies.
why? And I thought I was so late to the game.
It's because you live in Utah.
Well, yeah. That first.
People have 4 children by then.
So when I came out to a friend of mine, she said, oh my God, Jane, you're such a MILF. You're going to have so much love on it.
Are though.
And she was like, the lesbians are going to crawl all over you. Oh my gosh. Like when you go on the apps, you're going to have so many people hitting you up. And I was like, be so real. Like, I'm like, that's so sweet of you. But I'm in my 30s. I'm a mom of 3. Like, I'm not trying to dog on myself and be like, I'm ugly. Like, I'm not. I'm not, but I'm not going to be like, I have everything to offer. Like, I feel like such a mom, And I was like, that's so sweet of you, but I don't think it's going to be like that. But I will tell you, and like, I do not want to sound like shitty and braggy right now, but she was right. That's what I told you. One of the reasons I ended up putting oh my gosh, canceled a date with Jess was I was really overwhelmed at work, but I was also so over socialed from these apps. And I was like, I can't talk to anybody right now because my phone was like blowing up. It was crazy. And a lot of those, they don't all go somewhere,
Mhm.
But like I will tell you, as someone solidly in her 30s, and even for me, I'm like, I have such mom vibes, and I'm out there. I have a lot of women are not interested in even talking to someone with kids.
But you are a MILF.
Oh, thank
You're a
you.
total MILF.
And you're also not like you say you have mom vibes, like it's like, oh, she's a mom,
But you don't. Not
you
in
don't. But I will also say, from one mom to another, you are your own individual. And obviously, you're coming a lot more into that, right?
Yeah.
But ever since we've known each other, I don't even fucking know how long we've known each other. 5 years, 4 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that amount of time,
Yeah.
you, I can't even tell you in how many different ways and different parts of life that you have inspired me. You are truly your own individual, and you are a mother, and you are such a beautiful mother. You are so good with your kids. I've told you this so many times. I love watching you parent your kids, and the space and the love that you give them to be their own person. And even though you've talked about they're like, oh my gosh, mom, you're really happy now, and they see that about you, but you truly have so many of us get so lost in being a mom, and that is
No,
our
it's true.
entire
And
identity.
I have before. Yeah.
But you don't put that off. And maybe you've had seasons of that, but
Yeah.
the whole time we've known each other, you've inspired me in
Aw.
so many ways. And you are completely a wonderful, present, fully there mother and a beautiful individual all in one.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. And that was something that was really important to me, was finding my way back to myself, because I did lose myself in, being a mom, and
It's hard
especially
not to.
I had 3 kids back to back to back. And so you do kind of lose touch with yourself. And like I said, pregnancy was awful to me, and my mental health tanked in those times. And so I really did want to try to find that. And I feel like even me coming out, and I feel like I am making myself a priority, but I do actually, at the same time, it is really beautiful, because I do feel like it is making me a better mom, because I'm fully here,
Mm-hmm.
and I am happier, and I want my kids to have a happy mom,
Mhm.
and I want them to have a mom that they fully know, and um, a mom who models the things that she's trying to teach them.
Yes.
Yes, that's so important. And it is a little bit easier to be able to step outside of that when they're not in infancy
Right.
age and
Oh my God.
so dependent on
Yeah.
you. Now they're like, cool, I have friends outside of you
Yeah.
too.
Exactly. They're all a little
Yeah.
older.
But it is so important to show them that too, because being an adult and looking at our parents, right? Do you have a life outside of us? Especially now that we're our own adults and have our
Mhm.
own families. Do you also have your own life? I think it's super important.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I love it.
I love that I have 2 MILFs here in my home right now. This is great.
No, that was great. Thank you. I wasn't even compliment fishing, but thanks for gassing me up, you guys.
Thank you. Oh my
Always.
gosh.
Always.
Well, don't look at your text with your friends and wonder if you're dating. You are not friends.
Honestly.
Yes.
Honestly.
Oh my gosh. And people wonder why I don't make time for them. And I'm like, well, you have not made me feel
You've not made me question.
You've never objectified me.
you don't objectify me. What are you doing?
But that's also, I feel such feminine relationship energy.
That's
too.
true.
It's
Yeah.
so beautiful. And
I don't know. I have
Still
been with men
sucks.
before, and some of their bro conversations are so gay. They make me so happy.
So
And I'm like, why don't you just go for it? You
We
wanna
can all
enjoy
feel it.
Let's
Just
snap kiss.
oh
Oh, man.
man.
Okay, so we've talked a bit here and there about how like you're happier and all of that stuff, but for you, what does it like? What's been the most freeing parts of this for you? Like what and what does free look like to you now versus what it did before?
Mhm.
I I think that it's just so much more quiet in my brain. Like I'm not trying to hide from myself anymore. I'm not trying to lie to myself. I'm not trying to figure out what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Like I have so much clarity on it now. And there's just I don't know, when I left religion, there was a lot of cognitive dissonance that I had to work through, and I kind of feel like it was the same thing for me with this topic of figuring out my sexuality, and even like I said, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out like, okay, I know I have attraction to women, but do I have attraction to men? Did I ever? And it just these topics were just so layered and complex and hard to figure out. And now that I've done that work of processing through them, and I just feel so sure in who I am. It's just such a weight off and acknowledging something that has been there all along and like giving space for that and loving that part of myself. Like there was a time last fall when I was still really going through this, like before I'd come out to anybody, where I I would get in the car and cry. Like this was so heavy. And I remember saying to myself, I wish this wasn't true. I wish I could change it. I wish I could unring this bell and just go back to this ignorance that I'd had. And like, I wish I wasn't a lesbian. And I wish that I could just stay with this life that I always thought that I would have. And then just like a couple months later, I was like, I am so glad I'm a lesbian. And I was like, I was born to be a lesbian. I was born to love women and be loved by women. And I think this is the most beautiful, natural thing. It blows my mind that anyone could ever say that being gay is wrong because it feels so much more natural and beautiful to me than being straight ever did. Um, Not that I ever actually was being straight, but when I tried, um, it just is so it's just such a beautiful thing when you are finally honest with yourself. And that gives me so much freedom and I'm just living in like so much more truth now.
Mm. Oh, my whole heart is with you. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So
Yeah.
beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Love it.
It's very happy.
Hmm. So you've obviously had a lot of emotions through this. And even years, right, of like thinking things and shoving it down and processing through it. What would you say to someone that was maybe in your shoes from a couple years ago that was like, I might one day come back and realize this is that moment?
Yeah,
Good question.
that's a good question. Um, I would say that it's not selfish to want to know yourself and to hide who you are from those around you, as hard as it is to face it, that's actually the selfish thing because love takes courage. And if you're hiding yourself, you might say that you're doing that out of love for people around you, but you're actually doing harm. Like I had to face that and say, realize that I'd harmed the man that I was with because I couldn't really love him fully and how hurtful and confusing that was for both of us. I wasn't doing anyone any favors by hiding it. And it's not just about sex. Like, this is about love. It's about knowing yourself. Even if you never are in a romantic or sexual relationship, it is worth it to know yourself fully and to make space for yourself and view yourself in a positive light instead of feeling like you need to hide that. That is so much bigger than sex. And it is important and it is worth it and you are worth it. And I would say too, like, if you're not ready yet, that's okay. Like, don't hide it, but also give yourself grace. Like, something that I've viewed this through is I've kind of thought of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But instead of, thinking about like your need for shelter or food or whatever, I've kind of thought of it as like a hierarchy of like personal growth, and that we all have these different layers of this pyramid, but we might have different ones in there. So, and they might be in different orders. So you're going to talk to people who are going to say, oh, well, I knew when I was 8. And I'm a gold star and I never knew. Like, even the woman that I'm with, like, she's so gay. And like, it was so obvious. And she always knew. And she's always been with women. And that's great for her. And she had a lot of other stuff that she had to get through in life. But that facet of knowing herself was right at the base of her self growth and self awareness. She knew that. My order was shuffled. And before I could get to that layer, I dealt with religious trauma. I dealt with, setting boundaries with my parents. I had kids. I went through a lot with my mental health. I went through a lot breaking apart religion and politics and all this. And that was my order that I had to go through to get to the point where I could deal with this topic of my sexuality. And that's okay that I did things in a different order. And yeah, sometimes it sucks to be like, oh my God, I didn't know this about myself. Like, sometimes I've battled feeling embarrassed about it. Like, how did I not know myself? How did I hide that? How did I, like, it's so obvious. But I think also it's not obvious because when whatever it is, your sexuality or whether it's your gender or whatever, it just feels so natural to you that, like, I couldn't really tell you what it feels like being a lesbian anymore that I could tell you what it feels like to have green eyes. I don't know. I just do. That's just my eye color, So I can look back and think about, how pretty I thought my childhood babysitter was growing up and not be like, oh, well, of course I didn't realize that I had a crush on her. I just was like, oh, she's so pretty. It just feels natural. It didn't feel like this crazy outlier thing for me. It just was how I viewed the world, And so it's okay if it takes you longer to realize things. It's okay if your order is shuffled. Don't let anyone else make you feel inferior. We all are just coming at life in the order that we're supposed to.
All your answers are just so like beautiful and layered and deep,
I
and
just can't get over you.
I'm about to do a
I'm in
lot
love
of
with
work
you.
processing this.
ER, take a backseat. I'm in love with you now, Jane.
Oh, suck it, ER. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
You can
You're
probably pick me
phenomenal.
up and you're really gorgeous.
oh, I love that
Oh
though.
my
That's
God.
such a beautiful thing because, like you're saying, we all do things in different orders, but especially like the environment that you were raised in, the things that you had to work through, and everyone's is different and takes different time and whatever for even the tools that you had at that time to be able to work through those things. So that's,
Yeah.
it was really beautiful.
Thank you.
So well said. Oh my gosh. So, okay. Oh,
I also want to say too, a thing I've been saying like, oh, I didn't even realize looking back, I thought my babysitter was beautiful. It's also so interesting, I think, from a woman's point of view, because I think we've said a couple times, feminine relationships, like we are so much more intimate anyway. And so it's almost like, because I think I've shared with you like on my journey of like realizing I'm bi, kind of same thing. Like all of our relationships, like they're so intimate and women are just so beautiful and so powerful. But yeah, realizing maybe every other woman doesn't want to maybe see other women naked the way that I do. But yeah, it's not like that's not the like front of the thought. That makes sense.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Very well said.
That's true. I think that does, it can make it more confusing.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love that about female friendships.
Oh,
But
100%.
it can make it a little harder to sort.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a really confusing thing for me because, like I said, it accepted years ago, like, oh, I am attracted to women. That's great, you know? But then when this question came up of, am I a lesbian? I had to think like, okay, like I've said a couple times in this conversation, do I have attraction to men now? Also, further, did I ever? Because I remember saying, you know, I had a crush on guys, you know, like I married a man and I genuinely did love him. So like, what was this and what have I been experiencing? And so, like I said, last year I spent hours journaling and trying to process things. And I think for me, and I think when people are approaching this, I always see people talking about their attraction to women and being like, well, I like this and I like this. And I'm drawn to this. And I think, yeah, like if you like women, okay, that's a given. That's great. But I want to encourage people, like, you know, think about your attraction to men and what that was. And I think that's a whole topic on compulsory heterosexuality, right? Have we talked about this before?
I don't think so.
So it also can get nicknamed compet. But it's just this idea of, you know, when you are, you know, like we said, when you are raised, you know, especially like for those of us who grew up in religious context or just very patriarchal or traditional context, you know, you are a girl, you have crushes on boys. You know, like, oh, you wear that, boys are going to check you out. You know, you wear that, you're at risk of getting assaulted by a boy. You know, you better cover up. You better be modest. It is, you know, hey, make sure you learn these skills so you can take care of a husband and a family. Everything.
Oh my God.
You know, and every movie.
Fuck society. I
Literally.
can't. Okay, sorry. Go
Yeah,
on.
no,
Go
but
on.
and you know, it's in every movie that we watch, even the ones that are not romance based. Like I think of Toy Story, such a fun adventure story, and yet we have, you know, Bo Peep and Woody. You know, in the second one, sorry, I'm apparently going to talk about Toy Story on this. You know, we've got Jessie and Buzz. Like, it's just inner woman into everything. It's just these heterosexual relationships. That is all we see is just shoved down our throats.
People put that on kids too, though. Like even seeing a mother, my oldest is masculine and is getting to that age, right? 11 now. And people are like, oh, do you have crushes on girls? Do you have a girlfriend yet? And it's like, it's so put out there.
You see baby onesies that say heartbreaker.
Yeah, I remember when my oldest was born. Oh man, he's gonna break so many hearts. So all the girls.
Yeah, if he's smiling at like the waitress, oh look at that
he's
flirt.
flirting. Yes.
Such a ladies' man.
Yes.
It's
gross.
and
Well,
that
and
is
I caught myself the other day because I saw them and I told them they looked like a stud.
Like a stud, yeah.
I told him he looked like a stud. And he was like, what does that even mean? And I'm like you're handsome. Like you look good,
I
kid.
don't know.
You look good. You look very put together. Like,
you're like just Nick Miller out of the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I was on the phone, they're like, do I hang up? Like, do I just panic and call back? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Do I fake a medical emergency? Like, how do I get out of this moment?
I think that is the
Wait, who are you?
that is the appropriate reaction. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, to your point, it's literally like it is like
everywhere. Yes.
So to us.
I had to unpack and be like, is that what this was or was I ever? And so I like, oh my gosh, some may say that I overanalyzed it, but you know what? I do what I do best, okay?
And the honesty there.
Yeah. Yeah, I analyzed the shit out of that, okay? I did, but it was so eye-opening and enlightening for me because I looked back at times when maybe I was flirting with a man or I'd go out with a man, and I realized for one thing, I could not recall having any physiological responses, like mouth dry, like, and especially now that I've gone out there and I've dated women, which I hadn't at the time of trying to process this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, butterflies, head going blank, like forgetting your own name, like, mouth dry, like, shaky, like
Hold on.
pupils dilated.
Oh, going through all these physiological
the
things.
things that you're
So
feeling.
thinking through, no, I could not think of a time when I'd had these physiological responses to men. But then I thought, okay, but I've flirted with men and I've liked the attention. And right there,
It's attention.
it's the attention. Because
Huh.
what are we told that our worth stems from? Where are we told it comes from?
The attention we get from the opposite sex.
That's how you know you're pretty. That's how you know you're smart. That's how you know you're talented. That's how you know you're funny.
Damn.
Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. I can't. I
No,
can't
yeah.
handle life right now.
That was where I got my sense
So
of
that's
self-worth
what
from. That is where I got my confidence, my reinforcement. Like, that's how I knew that I was doing femininity right. And especially as a very femme woman,
Yeah.
Right.
like, that was so reassuring for me. And I actually started feeling really icky about it. I felt like I sounded like kind of evil. I was like, I wanted to know that these men liked me. And I felt like I was using them in this way,
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of it. It's not, but I was like, oh, when I repeat that to myself, I actually don't like how that sounds. I could not think of a time where I actually felt attracted to a man. What I could very much, and it wasn't like I couldn't remember these interactions. What I could very much remember was the high, like the rush you get, the sense of power, the sense of currency that you have as a woman in this world when a man likes you. I was like, oh, I feel like I have something on you. I feel like actually you're smaller and I'm bigger now. I feel powerful. I kind of own you a little bit because you're attracted to me. So now I have the upper hand in this dynamic. And that's where I'm saying that's when I repeated that to myself. I was like, oh, no, I don't like that. That sounds really
crazy
icky.
realization. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was mind blowing to me. And there's, like I can look at, my baby girl, Pedro Pascal, like he's so cute. I can look at men and be like, oh, that's a nice looking man. But have
Attractive
I
human
ever
being.
actually felt sexual attraction? I could not pin down a time where I did. But I could go way back to, when Pirates of the Caribbean came out and Elizabeth motherfucking Turner
Oh my God. Yes.
made me
Yes.
want to. I watched that movie over and over and over again. And I just remember being like, I just want to look at her. Like, so infatuated with her and just feeling like even back then, I can remember just feeling so entranced by her and so like just awed by women in a way that I've never felt anything close to that from men.
Okay.
So that for me, yeah, really just confirmed that's a lesbian. But I think like for anyone who's trying to figure out their sexuality, I would say
I love it.
think through those things and ask yourselves those questions and like really try to unpack where the messages from culture have come into play. Because sometimes it's not what it looks like it is on the surface. I'd had boyfriends, I'd gone out with men, I'd flirted with men. But that's what I found when I really dug into it. And honestly, yeah, like I do think there's I don't want to say like pure and wholesome in the way to say that I do not have dirty thoughts about women, but it feels it's so free of any of that, it just feels like pure, true attraction
Yeah.
without any agenda. Whereas my quote, attraction to men, it was only agenda. And I didn't know that at the time, but my attraction to women feels so beautiful and like true in a way that nothing with men could ever feel like that.
I love that. Well, I think something too we had talked about, I think on the just like last week or the week before on the best friends episode, talking about how friendships can be so intimate
Mm-hmm.
regardless of
Mm-hmm.
gender.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's not put out there enough too, that like even to realize, even though I have this relationship with this man and I'm a woman and we are intimate, it doesn't have to mean that there's something romantic or sexual there. Like you can be friends outside of that and not, because
Yeah.
it's so much. I think we talked about too, like, oh, you as a woman can't be friends with a man and
Mhm.
not feel something. Like there's a
Right.
hidden
There
agenda there.
has to be.
Yeah.
That you can't just be friends with people. Like,
Mhm. So that's also confusing to try to process it.
Yeah. It's also confusing because, like, I was married to a man for 13 years and I have 3
Yeah.
kids there. So,
Yeah.
not a virgin. And there were times that I absolutely enjoyed having sex with him. And so even that was confusing. So I was like, wait, if I was a lesbian, how could I enjoy having sex with a man? But I think for me, like, sex is good and sex is fun. Like,
Mhm.
it feels like the act of it should, actually feel good. It feels
yeah.
good to be touched. Like,
Mhm.
feels, it's all supposed to be pleasurable
Yeah.
stuff. And also, it feels good to be close to someone. It feels good to be known. It
Mhm.
feels good to be intimate. Um, and so, like, it was difficult to figure that out. Um, and I had to just be really honest about it. But I could look back and see how there was always a disconnect and there was a struggle. And a lot of times, like, we would have sex and then I would just be kind of left like, but I feel kind of incomplete, you know? And then there was a lot of grief in that. Like I said, there was a lot of guilt for like, I was not being honest and I feel like I hurt someone. And then also a lot of grief and like, I was not honoring myself in this. But again, I did the best that I could, you know, in the context that I was in. And, like I've constantly evolved and constantly changed through my whole adulthood. I've not stayed stagnant. Like I've constantly been like growing through some new, issue or hurdle or, growth point. So I just had to wait until I was ready to deal with this. But I know that it can be really confusing to figure this out, especially if you are someone who has had sex with the opposite gender. And I know some people who do identify as bi because they're like, I don't want to like discount the relationships I've had with the opposite gender in the past,
Mhm.
but I know that I only like, the same,
Yeah.
gender or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Like I only, like women now, or only like women non-binary people, whatever it is. Like I only like this. I wouldn't date men anymore, but I don't want to say that I'm a lesbian because I don't want to discount all these past relationships that I had.
Mhm.
And that's everyone's choice, but also I would say like, hold on, I don't like how I said that with like talking about gender. I got a little confused there. So um, okay, let me try that again. I know some people who do identify as bi instead of lesbian because they've had feelings or relationships with men in the past and they didn't want to discredit those relationships,
Mm-hmm.
even though they're not attracted to men anymore. And that may be what is true for them. But I would also say, like, I would encourage people to really look into it and see, like, did compulsory heterosexuality play a part for you as well? And like you can have a love for someone without there being that whole piece of romantic love. And I know for me that I loved, my ex-husband to the best of my ability. It just also could not be that exact same love, but I did love him. Yes, there was something missing, but I didn't even know that at the time. So it's really confusing, and you just have to embrace it and sort through and process and give it time. And you kind of do have to allow there to be some layers to it and like some areas of tension and find your own truth in all of it. It's gonna be a little different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Well, and I think, like you said too, though, like being able to enjoy some of those times with him, like
Mhm.
you guys, you built a safety net for each other.
Yeah.
You had so many intimate seasons of your relationship, right? You literally helped each other through so many things that it makes sense. But
Yeah.
like you're saying, at the same time, you didn't know maybe what that could look like fully. And I think
Yeah.
that's really like that part can relate to anybody, even regardless of like sexuality or gender, right? Because even thinking like from my first marriage to my marriage now, I loved my ex-husband. We were in love, we got married, we had kids, right? We were also young and had a lot of things to process through, and realizing with the relationship that I'm in now, married to another man, right? But realizing what true love is and what actual intimacy and all of that is, I did not have that in my first marriage. But sometimes you just like, you don't know. And you have what you have and what you know in the moment.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know. It's like with questions to ask. You don't know what questions to ask if you don't know what you're asking for
Yeah.
or about.
Yeah.
So questioning it a lot of the time is just not even a thought, because why would I question this when,
Yeah.
and especially, yeah, nope, we're not gonna go there. All good. All good.
Okay.
All good things. That's wild. Okay, so question.
Mhm.
Of all of the things coming out has provided you, your experiences and everything like that, what's been your favorite part? Like, obviously, like becoming your authentic self, right?
Mhm.
But like, what experience have you experienced that you've just been like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I'm a fucking lesbian.
um, I love like being out in public with my girlfriend. I mean, I'm biased, but I think we're pretty adorable together.
Yes, you
And
are.
it just is so fun and freeing. And I just think she's so adorable. And I just feel like so proud to like be like, yeah, that's mine. Like, get to walk around and like hold her hand and um just like move through the world with her. And it's such a new thing to walk around like holding hands with a woman and like, being out somewhere and kissing women. And it's like I was really curious to see like how does that feel,
Mm-hmm.
being out in public and having this, um PDA. And it's just really exciting. It's really fun. And like I said, I'm so proud to like be her girlfriend and be like seen with her and just be hers. And it's fun. It's fun. And I just enjoy her so much. And we just go out and like, I don't know, we go to cool restaurants and we go to cool events and we go and do these things. And, whether it's an art show or it's, going up to Park City to look at the views or whatever it is, we just have so much fun together. And so I think just being out in the world with her, it's just a blast.
Hold on. I love that so much.
Yes. And I will tell you, we piss people off too. Like we do, live in Utah
Mm-hmm.
and men do not like it. They don't. We get glared at. There was one time an older woman kind of glared at us a little bit.
Hey, have you been asked if you guys are sisters yet?
No, we haven't. Yeah.
Oh, God. The first time that
Oh.
happened to me and my ex-wife, I was just flabbergasted. And I looked at the kid and I was like, no,
You guys don't
like,
look anything alike either.
no,
Literally.
obviously not.
Obviously
We
not.
were
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
like, my thing is like, I don't expect everyone to like be love is love and this is great.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm very aware, no matter what year it is, no matter how advanced we are as a society, like that will never be a thing. There will always be some people who just don't
Mhm.
understand and can't like grasp it in a way that they can like get behind it. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to agree with it to be a decent human.
Right.
Literally.
Like it's basic human decency at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Literally.
even know. I don't even know how to.
Like, it can literally be like, we like different foods. You have food on your plate that I don't like. I'm not going to be like, you're so disgusting for eating that. What is
That's
wrong
not
with
fair.
you?"
I do that. I do that to you all the time. Not to
You're
you,
an
but
aggressive
I am
lover.
I
and-
am. I just feel really strongly about things, especially movies that you don't watch.
I just have seen nothing, apparently.
You're so uncultured.
But it's literally like, it's like, also, if that's not your cup of tea, don't live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be friends with me, don't fucking be friends with
Keep
me.
your fucking mind out of my pants.
Yes. Why do you have to glare and make a scene or make a thing? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, it's just so obnoxious.
No, it's truly bizarre. I can't wrap my mind around just like openly glaring at someone, especially like we're in Salt Lake. Like it, really?
Salt Lake is
You
like
know,
one of the more progressive parts of Utah.
it is. So it's
See
it's
gay
very-
stuff everywhere.
Yeah, there's so many little gay neighborhoods and like it's great. So I don't know. It's really
I love it.
yeah, but it's even like sometimes I'll think about, like, oh, if I'm going for coffee, like I'm gonna go to Sugar House Coffee because they're so queer there and they're so friendly. And I said that to one of my friends and she was like, oh, I never noticed that. And I was like, really? There's like pride flags everywhere. And she was like, well, yeah, I guess you're right. But she's straight. And she was like, I never really thought about that. And she was like, I've never, because I had said like, I want to go to meet coffee there with, this girl I'm going out with on a date because I feel like I won't get hate crimed there if I hold her hand. And she was like, I wouldn't have to think about that,
That's that privilege.
But I think for me, like, I obviously, like, I am so femme. And so I think that I know that I have a lot of privilege with that. And I think with that, I have a lot of responsibility. And so I can move through the world and hold my girlfriend's hand. She's not femme. She's wearing mask. I said, little sporty mask. But like, I have a lot more safety. And we've talked about this, how like sometimes our sense of safety kind of trades off because like I don't look gay.
Mm-hmm.
I do when I'm out holding her hand, but otherwise I don't
But
look
that's the
gay.
thing, you
quote,
probably
quote,
don't. They probably would think that you were just best friends with another girl.
Yeah, they could.
But she is obviously gay.
She's obviously gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like, and yeah. Sorry.
And I feel like that's even sometimes why people like they get confused or they even like why people get upset, you know? So,
because you look like a straightie.
yeah, I know.
You need to work.
I say that like I don't.
Yeah, like you also.
I love it.
I actually was just talking to a friend about this yesterday because we were talking about her hair and she'd gotten her hair cut super short and
Which, by the way, I love your hair color.
I love your hair color.
Yeah, when you first came over.
But she was driving. We were talking on the phone, and she was saying that like she thinks she's getting to the point where she's looking more obviously gay, and she's so happy about that, and she's leaning more into androgyny. And she was like, I think I'm there. Like, I think when people look at me, they know I'm gay. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. And yeah, I agree. You look really gay. Like, congrats. You arrived. Like, you're nailing it. And I was like, I don't think that's going to be my journey. Like, at this point, like, I'm 35.
Oh, thank you. It's my reminder to bask in the beauty of life.
Oh,
that's not true. That it's 7:30, so it's my reminder for my divine evening routine.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Sorry.
It
It is 7:30, you guys.
Okay, I'll finish up. But she says, oh, I said, I don't think that's gonna be my journey. Like, I'm 35. I feel pretty settled in my style. And honestly, like, I don't feel like I have anything to prove, Like I said, like, I'm very comfortable in the fact that, like, yeah, I am gay. I have a whole girlfriend, and trust me, there are way gayer things that I do than just like having a wolf cut or the way that I dress.
Mhm.
No hate to wolf cut. I love them. But, like,
Don't need to prove to other people that you're
yeah, I don't need to prove it. I'm fine. Um, but I do know that, like, yeah, I look really straight. I know that. And so sometimes that means that I have a lot of privilege that, like, she doesn't have because she looks so gay.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, sometimes it flips because I am so femme, and the looking really feminine can also make you a target,
Mhm.
And um so, sometimes, like, when we're out walking, like, she'll walk me out sometimes when it's late, and she doesn't feel quite the same level of risk that I feel because, I'm
Yeah.
wearing a dress, and, she's wearing basketball shorts and, jacket. So it kind of trades off sometimes. And it's been a really fun and interesting thing for us to kind of talk about together and kind of unpack. And, like, at the end of the day, we are both women, and, like, we both have been objectified, and we both have been, um, you know, harassed and had inappropriate things said to us. And, um, like, being masked or femme, like, either way, it doesn't exclude you from that kind of harm here in our culture.
Mhm.
But the fact that I am femme, it does make me really want to, like, step up and, like, use my privilege to, like, protect people when I can. And I think that's a really good call to action, like, for people who do have any kind of privilege,
Mhm.
something I try to
Yeah.
remind myself of.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
beautifully said. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yes.
Is there any last thing that you would like to say to our listeners, to other people maybe in this journey? I kind of asked that question earlier, but is there anything that you feel like hasn't been said that you would like to share? Yeah, advice to anybody. It doesn't have to be like in maybe even like
Any
in life
parting
coming
words?
out,
Yeah.
any part of your journey that you would just give overall advice to, which I mean, again, I feel like you've said a lot and
Like,
you've been very,
literally.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if the answer is no, that's fine.
Um, I think I would say, as much as you can, find community and talk about it, because having other people to bounce things off of and hear their ideas and hear their experiences can really help you kind of match up your own and learn more about yourself. And I know, like, I've had amazing conversations with both of you. I remember having, if you remember that early on conversation we had in a parking lot about
Yes,
sexuality,
I
and,
do.
like, there's just so many good conversations that can be had that teach you so much about yourself that you're not going to have without having close community. And I know it can be so hard to make friends as an adult, but literally, like, if you don't have a lot of things happening around you, like, go online, get the Meetup app and find events. Like, just get out there. Sometimes it takes really repeated exposure to certain groups. And, like, there were so many people that I hit it off with one time and then never hung out. But suddenly something will stick if you're continually putting yourself out there. Having adult friends, especially adult friends who you can really be yourself with, I think for me, and especially thinking about this in terms of, like, Pride Month, like, having that chosen family, it's can be such a lifesaver. And I think can really give you that space to start unpacking things for yourself or sharing things, or maybe you're solid in it, but you're able to do that for someone else. And I think when you can have any sort of, like, visibility, whether you're the person needing to watch and learn and be encouraged to be yourself, or you're set in yourself, but you're an example for other people. Like, community is going to be, like, that safe place that we can all really like grow and flourish, and those people that you can just really do life with. And I think, like I said, thinking about, things with my own family and thinking about the fact that like, yeah, when I came out, I did lose some people, and some of them I'm not sure exactly who they were. Some of them I know exactly who they were. And there were a couple people that I was like, wow, okay, that one kind of sucked, but at the end of the day, like I know I have the two of you, and I have so many beautiful people in my life that have come along even just over the last few years, that I don't feel a loss because I have such a good community around me. So I think that would be like my big advice to people is like, if you have it, embrace it. And if you don't have it, you just got to put yourself out there and find that. And that can really make all the difference for you.
I love that.
That is stunning.
Community is so important.
So
Literally,
important.
when you go get surgery, your doctor's like,
Yeah.
do you have people to take care of you? When you came to us in December and
Yeah.
you were sharing where you were at and what you hoped your journey would be, you told us that you wanted to be completely out in June, by
Mhm.
June,
By
to be
June.
able to like live your life
Yeah.
freely and beautifully in Pride Month.
Mhm.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Look
Yeah,
at you.
we did it.
So proud
Speaking
of
of
you.
Pride, we will
We're
be
gonna be
at
there.
Pride, and you're coming with us, I'm assuming.
Obviously.
I'm like,
Yes.
we're
Wear
going to be
my-
repping.
But
I'll
SLC
wear my
Pride.
shirt and
We're going to
everything.
SLC Pride.
Pride.
Well, this is airing after the Utah Pride.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So,
That's true.
yeah.
hells yeah.
So
So we'll be at
SLC Pride.
SLC Pride again this year.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped. You'll be able to find us by our shirts,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're making shirts for us again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I am ready to show up fully roughing it.
I love it.
Okay.
You'll just have to
We can-
not do pan colors for her because she is against those colors, apparently.
And even though the bi-colors are beautiful,
It would be a lie.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, maybe we can post something on social of where we'll be, what we'll be wearing.
Well,
something.
because we're going to be walking the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like, we don't have a booth or anything.
We'll be posted at the karaoke.
Probably that
Yes,
too.
find us singing.
Well, okay,
Belting
but
our
here's the
hearts
deal. Someone's going to... I'm going single this year.
out. I love it. You said you
It's-
are going single this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous.
Girl, we're here.
We could talk
Maybe you
about
won't stay single the whole day.
I need a Mac buddy real bad.
Any hotties with a vulva showing up to Pride?
Yes.
That's staying. That one is staying.
And on that note,
And on that note, do you feel complete?
I do.
Do you feel
I feel
complete?
so complete.
I feel pretty damn complete. So that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
On
Thank you
this
guys
week's
for having me.
episode.
This was so fun.
Thank you so
This
much
is the
for
first
joining
time
us.
I've really talked about any of this in this way. And so this is really fun for me to like reflect on. And yeah.
I love that you were so willing to come. And we appreciate you so much and your authenticity and everything about you, really. We're big fans. We're both
So
big
I'm
fans.
a fan of both of you. I love you guys. Check out
So that is
we-
a wrap on this week's episode.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you
so
for
really
much.
having
appreciate you
me.
being here.
This is so fun.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining. We hope you all had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to comment your favorite moments. Comment how you felt, how you related, how you felt through it. Comment all the things. You can also email us at gorgeouspandemoniumpod.com. If you would like to come on and tell your story, especially during this Pride Month,
I'm
we are
sorry.
so
What was the email you just said?
gorgeouspandemoniumpod@gmail.com.
Oh. Oh.
But yeah, anything you want to share with us, reach out to us. 5 stars, nothing
Like-
less.
2 thumbs.
2 thumbs. All the positivity. Share with those.
Oh, and don't forget to follow us on social media because I'm slaying still, I think.
The TikTok,
Hopefully.
IG, always.
Yeah. TikTok, Instagram,
Patreon,
the Patreonage.
Patreonage.
Also,
Fund your babies.
fund
Give the babies gravy.
yes. And don't forget to check out our merch, which is on Patreon. You can also DM us on social media to get yours as well instead of going
Yes.
through Patreon. But yeah, don't forget to check out the merch and stuff. With that being said, go drink some water, romanticize your life a little, stay chaotic, authentic, and stay gorgeous.
Until next time, keep embracing the madness.
We'll see you
Next Tuesday.
to talk about identity shifts and numerology of the fives.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.